Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Charine Nirvishatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Morning, everybody. This is a wonderful day today that we have today. It's the disappearance day of Srila Narottama Das Thakur Mahashai. This is, if you've never heard of him, this is an amazing day to just reflect, hear, read about his life. This is one of the stalwarts, one of the pillars of our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. One really studying his life and his songs and poems, one really understands what Krishna consciousness is, and one becomes inspired to follow in the footsteps of great souls like him. This have you ever wondered if one person can make a difference in the world? This this is shown by Narottama Das Thakur. It's he was born in what is now East Bengal, Bangladesh, in a place called Keturi. But even before he was born, it is said that Mahaprabhu, he was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was on his way, on his first attempt to go to Vrindavan, and he was taking this long route through Bengal to visit Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, to see them for the first time and give them mercy. And he was having an incredible kirtan in Bengal at that time. And at a certain point, he just stopped. He stopped this big kirtan, and he looked towards the river, towards the Padma River. And he started calling out, Narottam, Narottam, Narottam. And all of the devotees were like, who is he calling for? Like, we don't know any devotee called Narottam. And so Lord Nityananda approached him and said, my Lord, who is Narottam? And he said, Narottam is my very confidential associate, and I want you to bring him to the Padma River when he becomes of age. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the waters of the Padma River, and the water started swelling. And the deity of the Padma River, she came forward to pay her obeisances to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave her a pot in which he said, my liquid prema, my love for God is in this pot. Please give it to Narottam when he comes to you later on. And she said, how will I know who he is? And she said, and Lord Chaitanya said, when this personality enters into your waters, you will feel the same ecstasy as you did right now, and your waters will swell in the same way. So years later, after Lord Chaitanya had already departed from this world, as I said, in the town of Keturi in Bangladesh, there was a king named his name was Krishnananda Dutt, and his wife was the Queen Narayani, and both of them, they had a son, a very beautiful son, and it was their first son, and it was a big joyous occasion for the whole kingdom. And at that time, they did this um, uh, special uh, special astrological calculations, which was regular in those times, to see what name should we give our child. And the astrologer, he looked at the chart and said, "Oh wow, this is a very great personality. He will bestow love of God to the whole world." And he said, he's the best of of all human beings, and therefore his name should be Narottama, Nara Uttama, the best of all men. But you must be careful. You must never allow him to take a bath in a river, because if he does, he will become mad. So the king and the queen at that moment said, uh, definitely we will prohibit anybody from ever taking our little Narottam anywhere near a river. And so it was that he grew up, and um, eventually he came of age. He was hearing from the a brahmana every day. He was a brahmana that would come and talk to Narottam about the passing of Lord Chaitanya and his associates. And Narottam was becoming more and more enthralled with every passing day, hearing about these passings. He wanted just to hear about, and he loved this Brahmana because of that. And when he turned, uh, I believe it was 15 years old. It was in his teens that just before the break of dawn, he had a dream, and in this dream, Lord Nityananda told him, Narottam, I want you to go to the Padma River and take your bath there. And so Narottam awoke that morning and immediately went to the Padma River. Everybody was sleeping. Nobody was expecting him to go anywhere, and so he just escaped from the temple compound, and he went into the river. And sure enough, the water swelled, and the deity of the river Padma, gave him the pot. When he drank this pot, his complexion changed. He had a dark complexion, and suddenly it turned golden, like Lord Chaitanya's. And he felt all of the love of God that Lord Chaitanya had immediately invade his whole body, and he started crying. Tears just poured from his eyes, and his body started shaking. All of the 8 symptoms, the Ashtabhavakas, all of these symptoms came onto his body, and the people from the town of Ketri, they were looking for him. He was gone. The prince was gone. What happened to the prince? And so they came, and they saw the Narottam, and it was strange. He had a different complexion, and he was behaving like a madman. And everybody was like, "Oh, what happened to him?" Like that. And from that time on, he he was just completely immersed in love of God. So he was in and out of these ecstasies, and they decided to just keep him locked in a in his quarters, um, for his own safety. Uh, at some point, he got this dream, and in this vision, then Lord Chaitanya said, "I want you to go to Vrindavan, and I want you to take initiation from my dear servant Lokanath Goswami." and through you, I will do great things in this world. And so Narottam decided that he was going to try to go, but he was locked up. And for months, he just couldn't go. Every time he tried to escape, the guards would catch him. So he was desperate. He needed to go. Lord Chaitanya had told him to go, and he couldn't go. So at one point, his father, Krishnananda, he just left on some business, and while he was away, Narottam was able to convince his mother that he would just be going nearby, and if he could just take a walk. And while he did that, he escaped and he started going through the jungle paths. Now, it took him 4 months to reach Vrindavan. That's how far Kittur is from Vrindavan when you're walking. And he was going especially not through the main roads, but through the difficult jungle paths. And mind you, he was a prince. He was born in royalty, so it was very difficult for him. But still, he did it because he had this enthusiasm that yes, I'm going to go to Vrindavan. I'm going to go to Vrindavan. And at some point, when he saw that that it was okay, he went onto the main roads. But then he got caught by the guards. They found him, and the guards said, "Okay, we're taking you back." And he started pleading with them that just as a girl who has been struck with love, she who has given her heart cannot go back to her father's place, but must go to her husband's uh, house. In the similar way, I have now been struck by love of God, and I must go to Vrindavan. And so the guards, they were just so touched by Narottama Das Thakur that they allowed him to just go. He continued on his journey until he reached Vrindavan. And when just before he got there, the Lord Chaitanya went into the dreams. He gave a vision to Jiva Goswami and also to Lokanath Goswami, telling them that Narottama Das Thakur was about to come. So at some point, Jiva Goswami got this call from a devotee saying, there is a very special young man in the Radha Govinda temple, and he seems to be a very exalted personality, but he's just crying and crying in the temple. Can you come see? And Jiva Goswami understood that this was Narottama Das Thakur. Now, when Narottama Das Thakur, when he was there in Vrindavan, it is said that he became best of friends with Srinivasacharya. Now, he had already heard about Srinivasacharya from that Brahmana back in Keturi. So even before meeting him, he was very anxious to have his association. And also, all of the residents of Vrindavan, they had heard about the story of Mahaprabhu calling out to Narottama. So everyone in Vrindavan was very eager to meet Narottama Das Thakur. Narottama came to Lokanath Goswami and asked him for initiation, but Lokanath Goswami, he had resolved many years ago when Lord Chaitanya had passed away that he would not initiate anyone. He felt himself so low, so undeserving. Like all of the great devotees, they feel themselves because of their humility. But also, he felt that he was just not fit to be a guru because he was lamenting too much all the time, the passing away of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. He was, I can't even function well. How can I even be a spiritual master if I can't function well? So he decided that he was not taking any disciples. So Narottam Das Thakur, it is said that uh, he decided, okay, I will. It is the wish of Lord Chaitanya for me to get an initiation from Lokanath Das Goswami. So I will just serve him, even if he doesn't want to give me initiation. I will just serve him humbly. But it is if you ever have been with a renunciate, it is very difficult to serve them because they don't need anything. They're and Lokanath Goswami was just like that. He didn't really need anything, and so Narottam had to figure out a way to serve him, and he saw that the only way that he had a chance to serve him, and in a way that he would allow him, was basically doing it incognito by going every day before Lokanath Goswami would wake up, and he would Lokanath Goswami would generally go and take his bath very early in the morning, and before doing it, he would answer the call of nature in a little special area. So Narottam Das Thakur would go to that special area. He would clean it very nicely, and with his own hands, the the urine and stool, he would just clear it out and make it very nice. He would bring very special earth that was good there. Um, and looking at Goswami, after some time, he started noticing that this place is always very nice. It, how is that? And so he hid one morning just to see what was going on, who was doing this. And when he saw Narottam Das Thakur coming in and with a little bucket and just arranging everything, he came out of the bushes and just cried out, Narottam, Narottam, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you cleaning the urine stool of another man? You're a prince. You're an associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why are you doing this? And with tears of love in his eyes, Narottam Das Thakur was telling uh, Lokanath Goswami that uh, my dear Lord, I I have given up all of these material riches and all that for the chance to be able to serve a great soul like you, to be able to get this great treasure of love of God by service to your lotus feet. And he was so sincere. In fact, he had not disclosed this to anybody. Nobody knew other than Krishna and Radharani and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nobody knew that what he had been doing all of this time. He only wanted to serve. That was his desire, and this was the only way that he could do it. So um, it was decided when Lokanath Goswami saw that genuine humility and desire to serve Narottam Das Thakur, he said, "Okay, I will give you initiation." And he did, and uh, then he commended him to Jiva Goswami so that he would be trained up as in the literature, so that he could study nicely the teachings of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. And so Narottam Das Thakur, along with Srinivasacharya and later Shyamananda Pandit, the three of them were classmates in Jiva Goswami's school. And everybody was amazed at how learned these three became, and what beautiful qualities also of devotion each of them exhibited. At some point, Jiva Goswami got a letter from Janava Mata, the wife of Lord Nityananda. And she lived in Kardaha in Bengal. And she asked Jiva Goswami to please bring, send the books of the Goswamis so that they could be shared, so that they could be multiplied, because at that time there were only one copy of each. So we want to make copies of these and distribute them around. And everybody here in Bengal is just suffering so much from the separation of Lord Chaitanya and his associates. This would enliven all of us. It was also, some scholars say, a very important move that Janapa Mata did, because at that time there were starting to be some schisms between the Vrindavan devotees and the Bengali devotees. And so this was a way to bridge them back. And so it was announced that Srinivasacharya, Narottama Das Thakur, and Shyamananda Pandit would take the books to Bengal. It was a special mission. And it is said that these three young men, they went around Vrindavan asking for the blessings of all of the Vaishnavas. And Raghunath Das Goswami, who was very old at that time and very an invalid at that point, he started crying tears of affection because he knew that these three boys were so dear to him, and he would not see them for a very long time. So he was just crying and giving them his blessings. There was a big celebration of Jiva Goswami putting all of the books into the cart that was going to be taken there. He arranged for there to be guards that would go with the boys in these books, so that the books would be protected. Remember, these were the only copies of these books. And in this celebration, Jiva Goswami would raise a book and call out the name. This is the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and everybody, Jai! This is the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Jai! This is and he would call out all of these beautiful names of these books, and he would place them very, very carefully in the cart, and they made arti to these books. And so the boys and went with the guards in the cart on their way to Bengal. They passed through many tracts of land, and when they got to Vanavishnupur, there was an incident. The king at that in that area, he was he was a pious king, but he did pious things in a impious way. And so he heard from an astrologer that there was this great treasure in a cart, and he decided that, wow, we have to get that treasure. But when he heard that it was some sadhus, some saintly men were guarding that, he said, make sure that nobody gets hurt. So the the thieves that he hired to do that, they followed the cart for a couple of days, trying to see when they could get the cart without harming anybody there. And at a specific point, they made sure that all of the guards and the sadhus, uh, they were completely asleep, and then they stole the cart. When Srinivasacharya, Shamananda Pandit, and Narottama Das Thakur awoke the next morning, it was a blow to their hearts, because the books were gone, and they started looking everywhere for it, and they couldn't find it, and they just couldn't understand, like, how did we not get up? How did we lose them? This was our mission. These were the only copies. Now they're gone, and so they kept on looking, and in a desperation, they were thinking, what are we going to tell Jiva Goswami and all of the devotees who entrusted this to us? And they decided that we should just jump into the river. We should take our lives, because there is no point in us living. But there was a voice from the sky that told them, do not fear. The books are safe. You will find them very soon. And so Srinivasacharya, he was like the leader on all the boys, the eldest. He decided, okay, I'm gonna stay here in Vanavishnupura. I'm going to look for those books. And meanwhile, Narottam, you continue on to East Bengal, and Shamananda, I want you to go to Orissa, and you guys continue your preaching mission there, and I will take care of these books. There's a whole pastime of how Srinivasacharya recovered those books and actually made the king and the whole kingdom into Vaishnavas. So that was a great pastime. But Narottama Das Thakur, he went on to East Bengal, back to Keturi, and in Keturi, where he was from, now he came back not as a prince, but as a saintly man, as a sadhu. And he had been gone for many years. So his father had passed away, and so did his uncle. And the Narottam, who was supposed to be the heir, now the kingdom went on to his cousin, whose name was Santosh Dutt. And Santosh Dutt received his very beloved cousin into the kingdom. And when he heard from him, when Narottama Das Thakur preached to him, he became a Vaishnava. He was initiated by Narottama Das Thakur, and the whole kingdom also became Vaishnavas at that point. Narottama Das Thakur at some point got this incredible desire to go and visit all of the places where Mahaprabhu had been, and to see the devotees who were still there. And so he made his way to Mayapur, to Navadvip. And when he got there, it is said that he saw this amazing vision where everybody was happy, and they were in the streets, and everybody was performing kirtan, and he saw Lord Chaitanya leading the kirtan through the streets in Naga Sankirtan, and suddenly the vision broke, and he saw Navadvip at the present moment, which was very sad, in a very sad state. Everybody was in the mood of separation from Lord Chaitanya and his associates. And it is said that the river was still, the the cows were just stunned. They had grass on their mouth and not even chewing. People uh, were just stunned in their houses, not doing anything. And a brahmana came to Narottama Thakur and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "My name is Narottama." And this brahmana just lit up and said, "Oh, Narottama, we have been waiting for you. We had been waiting for you for so long. We heard of, so everybody had heard the story of Lord Chaitanya calling out to his name, and he was taken to meet all of the associates of Mahaprabhu that were still there, and everyone was telling him like, well, you should go to Orissa. Lord Chaitanya wants you to go to Orissa. So so he made his way to Orissa, stopping by different places like Shantipur, where he met Achitananda, and some of his brothers, who were the sons of Advaitacharya. He in Srikanda, he met with Narhari Sarkar and Raghunandan, and he continued on to to Orissa. And when he got to Orissa, the devotees there, they were happy again from a state of sadness. They were awakened again to happiness because of the presence of Narottama Das Thakur. And it was in Puri. When he got to Puri, he saw this amazing Ratha Yatra, and in this Ratha Yatra, he also saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there, who came to him. It was a vision of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu giving him, and he told him, "Through you, I will spread love of God throughout the whole world. I want you to go back to Bengal, and I want you to install 6 deities of in there, and have a big festival. I will Through you, I will inaugurate a new type of kirtan, and my mission through you will be accomplished." And so the mission broke, and Narottama Das Thakur went up to Bengal. When he was when he was in Jajigram, he met with Srinivasacharya, who was preaching there. In Jajigram, they started talking about the need to do a big festival that would unite all of the Vaishnavas that were so fragmented now throughout Bengal and Orissa. And so they decided, let's make this big one, and let's do it on the day that, to celebrate the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya. This was going to be the first Gaur Purnima, the first celebration of the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya, and they decided to go all out. They started making all preparations, and there was something very special, and it was that Srinivasacharya had recently made a very wonderful devotee. His name was Ramchandra Kaviraj, and he said, "This is my disciple. Please take him with you, and he will be your assistant through all this." And at that point, one of the greatest friendships in Krishna consciousness that in our movement started between Ramchandra Kaviraj and Narottama Das Thakur. The two of them went back to Keturi, and Santosh Dutt, the king of Keturi, he immediately said, I'm going to do put all of the different servants that I have at your disposal. All of the kingdom's riches they're going to be going to this, because they were expecting thousands and thousands of people coming to this to this festival. The and all of the invitations were sent out to all of the great mahants, such as Janavamata, Chitananda, and so on. They were all invited, and these mahants, these wonderful devotees, as they were coming, they were picking up more and more people who were just seeing, oh, there's a great festival. It was a 3-day festival, and it started with the installation of the 6 deities. One of those 6 deities was a deity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a self-manifested deity of Mahaprabhu and Vishnu Priya. This deity nowadays is in the town where Ganga Narayan Chakravarti, one of the disciples of Narottama Das Thakura, lived. And when he was there, they started this big festival by installing the deities, and then there was a kirtan. There was a big kirtan, but just before that kirtan, Janava Mata, it is said, she looked into Narottama and infused with her gaze. She infused him with a very special potency to chant in this kirtan. And as Narottama Das Thakur started chanting, the emotions of all the devotees just started stirring up, and this kirtan went up to such a crescendo that at the highest point, Lord Chaitanya couldn't just hold back anymore, and he appeared there with all of his associates. It is said that for all the devotees, it was such a joy to be back to with these associates. So Janavamata, she was again with Lord Nityananda. Raghunandan was again back with Narahari Sarkar. The Shripati and Srinidhi were again with Srivas Thakur, and like that, all of the devotees were so happy to see all of these devotees who had departed back again in their midst. And not only were they seeing them dance, they were also hearing them chant. They were chanting and dancing, and this went on for hours, and the ecstasy was incredible. And at a certain point, they disappeared, and everyone fell in an utter feeling of separation. To that degree to which they had been in ecstasy, now they were in great separation. And they were wailing. But Janavamata, she composed herself, and she knew that, okay, we have to keep going. So she said, now we should start Holi. We should start the celebration of Holi. And it is said that they brought out the powders, the special colored powders, which were also scented. It is said that they had scented each one of these powders with a different beautiful scent, and they were sprinkled on the deities. And afterwards, that prasadam was lovingly distributed among everyone, and everyone would play Holi in this non-combative way, which we see Holi now being played in our modern day. After this Holi, it was also time now to have a kirtan and then prasad. So Janavamata went over and cooked a wonderful feast, and she personally went out to serve. And then the devotee said, okay, everybody has been served. Please, Janavamata, sit down and serve. She said, no, now the servers, I have to serve the servers. So she served the service, and finally they said, "Okay, all the servants have been given. Please uh, sit down and eat and eat something." So she finally sat down, and everybody was so happy. Everybody was stuffed as much because they were thinking, when will we ever get a chance to eat Janava Mata's prasad again? When will we have that chance to eat that? Uh, and this is the Shakti, the wife of Lord Nityananda. Imagine what what that prasadam must have tasted like. There was one final darshan of the deities, and everybody left back at that point to their places. Uh, it is now uh, 7 o'clock, so I will stop here. There are so many more amazing adventures of Narottam Das Thakur. So I invite you all to please, um, keep reading and keep hearing about his wonderful life and pastimes. I see Jamuna Jai.
Hi, Murari. Thank you so much for class. I have one quick question, and I probably heard it, but who was Narottama Das Thakur in Krishna Lila? You know, we know people. Who was he? I mean, it seems like he must have been, but do we know this?
Yes, actually, Lokanath Goswami revealed that to him. He was a Manjari. I can't. I have to look. I know that the scholars have two different names for him.
Okay.
I can't remember them right now, but I'll look those up and give it to you. But he is actually a Manjari, and specifically his Manjari that is in the under Champakalata.
Okay.
It is said that his Champakalata is said to be the best cook. She's the best cook of all the sakis, and so his service is helping Champakalata with that. Specifically, his one of his main services is with milk, bringing in the milk. And when he was in Vrindavan, uh, sometimes they would find his hands were burned, and they would go like, how did that happen? Like, because he did not usually have it. He was a sadhu. He did not cook like that. But they knew that in his meditations, it is said that in his meditation, he would go into it, and they would Champakalata would say, like, please boil the milk. And sometimes when your milk is over boiling, you just like try to get it out of it like that. And he burned his hand, so when he came out of his meditation, there it was. His hands were burnt. So
Thank you. I always wondered that. He's such a elevated soul. I'm like, who was he? Oh, here comes Gotcha. Hare Krishna. Thank you, really.
It's like Adipurusha Prabhu is wearing an apron, even when he's not cooking, so we don't know who Adipurusha is. That'll be revealed to us one day. Thank you, Murali Gopal Prabhu. Wonderful class. Cameras on, please, if you can. Darshan time.
Speak about spirituality. By the way, it seems to be the most of her. By the very much because they are in the philosophy. It's Krishna. And we wish to have a conscious feeling. You always not having eyes, those my opportunities. Is my work really stagnant? I am destroyed. It leads to the singular character. Our spiritual man to the open mercy for O Master, merciful, give us shade and mercy. The things for all we world, we say shelter, which we are from our
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Arjuna Prabhu. Welcome back to class, Murali Gopal Prabhu. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Such a wonderful narration. Do you have a few?
Just a quick thing. Jamuna Jai, his name is Champak Manjari, so that's easy to remember.
Got it. Thanks for looking.
Champak Manjari ki jai. Mid has her hand up.
Thank you so much for a beautiful class and the story of Narottama Das. I think when I read the small biography of Narottama Das Thakur, I was really struck by his disappearance, and there are a couple of stories around that, and one of them where he finally leaves his body is when he enters into the Ganges and his body turns into milk actually.
Mhm.
And his disciples takes that water and builds a tomb somewhere. If you could speak, and I thought it was really interesting because Narottama Das Thakur was called by Lord Chaitanya in the body of water, and how he sort of at the end of his life so sort of returns to the body of water. I thought that was kind of interesting and very esoteric and mystical. I was wondering if there's like, I don't know if there are any connections to that, and also if you know anything about where that tomb is in India. You could speak about that. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't get to the. I mean, I didn't get to the later pastimes of Narottama Das Thakur. They're amazing as well. You know, the with Ganganara Chakrabarti and Ramchandra Kaviraj and Ramakrishna and Hari Ram. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things there. But specifically, you said he's leaving his body the second time, because there's a first time when he is when to leave his body, and he comes back. The second time when he decides to, like, okay, now, yeah, like I'm suffering too much separation from Srinivasacharya and from from Ramchandra Kaviraj. This is too much. They left, and what is my life, without them? He decides to go to the river, down to the river, and he asks his disciples to come with him. Specifically, Ganga Narayan Chakrabarti and another, I can't remember who it was. And he looked at the river first of all, and he prayed at that point. Spent some time just praying. He entered the water, and he asked his disciples to massage his body with the Ganga water. And as they did, they noticed that his body started turning into milk. And as they rubbed, this milk was just dissolving in his body and dissolving into the Ganga, leaving there. And they were crying, but they had their they had their seva they had to complete. And just before he left completely, one of the disciples, he got a pot, and that mixture of milk and water, he captured it. And then they made a samadhi out of that. So yes, if you go to you will see some pushpa samadhis of Narottama Das Thakur. But right now, I believe that pot where they made that samadhi is in it's in the place where Ganganara and Chakravarti lived, which is I believe it's like 5 hours north of Mayapur. And in that place, you will also see the deity of Mahaprabhu that was self-manifested, the one that was in Keturi. It is said that this deity when it was in a granary, and in this granary it was filled with snakes, and when Narottama Das Thakur went into it, all the snakes fled away, and he came out with the deities of Vishnupriya and Mahaprabhu. These were solid gold deities, solid gold, self-manifested. In this place also, where Ganganaraya Chakrabarti, which was one of the main disciples of Narottama Das Thakur, was also they also had some shilas that belonged to Narottama Das Thakur, and this whole place is being taken care of by the descendants of Ganganaraya Chakrabarti. They're so appreciative of the devotees of ISKCON because they understand the value of what Srila Prabhupada did. He actually brought the teachings and the story of Narottama Das Thakur to the whole world. So they when Indradumna Swami was there, they actually gifted him a Shila, Varaha Nrsinga Shila, and that was in the care of Ganganaraya and Chakrabarti, and he worships that Shila. And it is very true that there is this nice, interesting, beginning of Narottama Das Thakur's life being called, from a river, and him leaving also from a river, and specifically his body turning into milk. Remember his eternal service to Champaka Saki is Champakalata Saki is to boil milk for her. So the fact that his body turned into milk is very representative of that, and that it mixed with the river. And upon leaving, that is very significant.
Wow, thank you so much for that. Yeah, that's so beautiful. And now, yeah, someday I would really love to visit that samadhi. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Interesting that Indradumna Maharaj received a Nrsinga Varaha Shila, and Indradumna Maharaj did give, maybe it's the same one, maybe not, a Nrsinga Varaha Shila to Sri Radhika, and Sri Radhika gave an Nrsinga Varaha Shila to the Bhakti Center. And the Nrsinga Shila on the altar, Radha Madhava's altar, on Braha's appearance, they turn the Shila, and there's Braha on that Shila. I wonder if that's the same Shila we're talking about.
Yeah, that was a good question. When I first heard about this, I talked to Vasudev Prabhu about it, and yeah, we were wondering the same thing. Is our Varaha Shila, because from what I heard, yeah, in the Dimna Swami, he had gifted this Varaha Shila specifically for the protection of the brahmacharis back in the when the Bhaktivedanta ashram was there. So I believe Vasudev Prabhu looked into it. He looked into it, and it seems like no, it's a different Shila. It's a different Varaha Shila. Yeah, because we were like, oh, is it really is it Gangadhara Chakravarti's Srila? And it's like, yeah, no, it's a different. Oh, okay, but we still have a Varahana Singha Srila, so that from Indotimna Swami, so that's very special.
Still Krishna.
It's still Krishna, and it's still special. So.
Thank you. Would anyone like to ask a question or reflect something that stuck up to you, please?
Along those lines, when I been reading Prabhupada's books for 52 years, I read a little bit of the Bhagavatam out loud in the evening. And what I was noticing last night, that Srila Prabhupada has a tone. He has I don't know what vocabulary to use. The tone of Srila Prabhupada's presentation of Krishna consciousness, of course there are other tones that are also appropriate and valid, but Prabhupada speaks in a very emphatic way. There is Krishna. There is devotional service. We are called to be following Srila Krishna's instructions, and it's possible. And it's very striking, one time somebody said, "Oh, why are you worshiping idol?" Or it said, "We are not worshiping idol. We are worshiping God." The way that he says it, it's like it's very solid and hope giving and clear. Other tones that I've heard, people who are presenting Krishna consciousness, not that they're wrong, but it's different. The movement, the devotees, there's kind of like a weeping, kind of a longing for improvement. But Srila Prabhupada is saying the movement is strong and clear. Certainly some people may not be following it, but the potential devotees of Krishna is available. Take it. I just relish that solid, forward, hope-giving, tone of yes, there is Krishna consciousness. Yes, we are called to be like this. Yes, it is possible. Others have followed this path, and you can too. Do it. I feel very inspired to hear that quality of presentation. Of course, there are other qualities. Well, glories to Srila Prabhupada, maybe that's a good contribution, maybe not, but I did pray to Krishna what to say. I prayed to Srila Prabhupada every day. What should I say? That's what I got. Maybe I'm following what he's telling me, maybe not, but I'm trying. Well, glories to Srila Prabhupada Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Adipurusha Prabhu. Bhima Prabhu, I think you were on the cusp of interjecting.
Oh, speaking about emphatic presentations.
Yeah, speaking of the movement going strong, let's Bhima.
That's funny. I think what Adi Purush was looking for was a man who speaks with no doubt and full confidence. Those two things. Prabhupada, not only was he fearless, but that he had that fearlessness actually has a source, and that's faith, and that faith has a source, and that's experience. And Prabhupada had, if we really look, I think a lifetime in preparation. Sasarup wrote, and you see Prabhupada growing up through the age, through the years, and what he went through, and a lot of what he did go through, we have no idea. We don't even know what it feels like to have 2 heart attacks in a row, combined with seasickness, out in the ocean all alone, basically on a freighter. To actually take the time to understand what it would feel like to be that man who has such full faith that he's willing to die on a freighter on his way to an ungrateful country, or actually grateful now. So yeah, that I was listening to Prabhupada the other day. It is on another level, and thank God. And that's the level that we all aspire to, and that is full faith and no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhima Prabhu. There was one pastime with Srila Prabhupada where he was in the GBC meeting with all the leaders of the movement, and everybody was complaining about this thing, about that thing. That temple president did this, and then there's the challenge in that area, and then in that country there's this challenge. And Srila Prabhupada was like, "You're all whining. I'm the only one encouraging everybody. You're all whining." Just to illustrate the point that Adipusha, Prabhu, and Bhima are making about Srila Prabhupada's lack of doubt.
There's a biblical quote that says, we should focus on and broadcast what is true, what is beautiful, and what is good. And that's what I see, that I feel like Srila Prabhupada is manifesting that. Like I was reading last night, and I read out loud, and it calls you to speak with the same tone of Krishna is there. This is available. You can do it. Take it up. Don't be ridiculous. Come on. There's hope. It's not, something to be, well, of course, sometimes people are pining for a better life and an improved movement, and we definitely have room for improvement, but the actual Krishna consciousness movement is untouched, unstoppable. And this last, yeah, go on.
Sorry, Prabhu, go ahead.
Adipusha, Prabhu, you will turn into milk. So maybe into khichdi.
The improvement. The last few classes were about how somebody gave a class yesterday about, how the Yadu dynasty, the only way for it to be destroyed was to it destroy itself in the fratricidal fighting with the iron rods. It was so powerful, and Prabhupada makes the point when he talks about that part of the story, that Krishna conscious movement, our vulnerability is if we become less cohesive in our effort. And he gives that story of the father had 10 sons, and he said, go get a stick as big as your finger. And then he said, each of you give me your stick, and he broke each stick really easily. Then he took the 10, go get another stick as big as your finger, and he took the 10 sticks and he bound them together. And he tried to break it over his knee and say, see, you hold together and no one can stop you. I want you to work together. I want you to cooperate, and I'll be pleased with that. And this will help us. But if we start to tear each other apart and divide and conquer, that's Maya's tactic. So let us hold tightly to the devotees, and let us remember that Srila Prabhupada has entrusted us with this wonderful mission, and he's given it to us, and he said, if you want to please me, give other people what I've given you. Simple and clear. Why not? Of course, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Narottam Nitai, Prabhu. Narottam Nitai,
Yeah,
who's your patron saint?
of course, Narottama Dasa. I love listening to his his pastimes. Just amazing. I mean, I just wanted to reflect that some senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they told me, one should become 100% Krishna conscious. At least strive to be. And so I kind of see that in Narottama Das Thakur's pastime. I wanted to reflect on that, and then yeah, it's other than that, yeah, just coming together. I mean, always trying to keep Krishna in the center. Harinam is like what I keep telling myself is that Mahaprabhu gave us, Harinam Sankirtan in this, and Srila Prabhupada too, of course, but like Harinam Sankirtan, that's like the true treasure. So every opportunity I get, I want to be there for Harinam, and even just playing the kartals or dancing, but I want to be there, and want to make it happen. So I'm gonna be looking forward to that. And other than that, oh, I just wanted to say one last thing. And here in Michigan, in Harmony Collective, we started this thing called Each One Carry One, which is it's been there for a while. But we basically keep a few Srila Prabhupada's books with us, and throughout our day, wherever we go, we distribute books. Yesterday, I went to the eye doctor. I was able to distribute 5 books, 2 to the doctor, 3 to the receptionist, and invited them to the temple. I mean, every little bit of, um, watering helps. Not everybody gets to come to the kirtan or harinam, so giving them an invitation. So I'm trying to keep some books with me and just throughout the day. Even if it's putting gas in the car, I giving up Beyond Birth and Death to the attendant at the gas station. It only costs me like $1 or less for the Beyond Birth and Death. So even if they don't give a donation, sometimes if they say they read it, I give it. So anyways, I wanted to mention that, since my name is Narottama Dasa. That's
Thank you, Narottama Nitai Prabhu. Okay, we can take one more contributor. I think Sadhvi Didi would like to glorify Krishna. Is that correct, Sadhvi Didi? Yes?
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you. Beautiful reflection, Sadhvi Didi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Murali Gopal Prabhu. Wonderful class. Thanks, everyone, for your uplifting and inspiring association. Have a wonderful Saturday. Hare Krishna.